Hello, my name is Fatima Zahid and I am in 7th grade attending Al Huda Islamic School. The title of my project is Whispered in the Wind. Can plants communicate? Ever since elementary school, we've learned that plants are living organisms. But what else comes to your mind when you think of living organisms? For me, humans come to my mind. That's when my thought process started. I started comparing and contrasting humans and plants. But what really caught my attention was communication. Communication plays a very big role in human lives. But what about plants? That's what the big question of my project is. Can plants communicate if they're being harmed or stressed? The reason I chose stressed plants is because humans often find it hard to communicate if they're being harmed or stressed. These are my variables for my project. Now, after researching, I hypothesized that if I cause an intentional stress to a plant and place it next to an unstressed plant, then the unstressed plant will show signs of stress in response of this to the stressed plant. These are my materials needed for the procedure. To conduct the experiment, first you need to plant all your plants into 9 pots, having 2 plants in each pot approximately 4 inches away from each other. Then you're going to put since you have 9 pots, you will divide them into 3, making it 3 groups. The first one, the control group, the second one, the experimental group, and the first experimental group, and the third one, the second experimental group. The first experimental group, you will cut the leaves a little bit, but not fully, which would be all the plant seeds. And for the second experimental group, you will cover plant E with a black plastic bag to acting as a stressor. This was a 2-week procedure, and during these 2 weeks, I observed the height and the flowers bloomed of the plants. I also recorded any changes in plant D and F's appearance, growth rate, or any visible defensive responses. These are the plants. As you can see, the first one is unharmed. The second one, you can't see it, but the plants are cut. And the third one, the plant E is covered with a black plastic bag. This is the collected data. And this is the averages table showing the starting height, ending height, the starting blooming flowers, and the ending blooming flowers. This is the graphs of the average growth for the plants adjacent to the stressed plant, and this is the average flowering for the plants adjacent to the stressed plant. Now, after the experiment was concluded, the results showed that the plants adjacent to the plant with cut leaves did not show any signs of stress. The plants adjacent to the plants stressed by covering them with the black plastic bag showed the least percentage of growth and the least number of flowers, even though there was no direct stress on them. In conclusion, the experiment proved that the hypothesis was supported. The control group has similar growth rate for the both adjacent plant and the similar flowering average. It is believed that plants communicate by releasing volatile organic compounds or VOCs, which alerts other plants to any form of distress or danger. In this experiment, the distressed plant in the second experimental group sent distress signals to its neighboring plant. This could have caused the plant to minimize the amount of nutrients it took in to help the plant next to it. Now, my plan applies to the real world because understanding how plants can communicate with each other can lead to better farming practices. We can use this system to inform the entire plant to activate different stress responses against a future threat or environmental threat such as drought. This result could also be what would amount to a vaccine for plants, immunizing them against threats like droughts before they happen, since plants are the only crops for produce for humans or the food. Now, to follow up with this project, I would like to study additional stressors to plants like depriving the plant of water or intentionally planting a weed next to it. I would also like to study plants other than the antelope, magus, or snapdragon. Lastly, I would like to recognize a few people. I would like to start off with my science teacher, Mrs. Rita El Shanable, for helping me with any step I needed to accomplish this project. She supported me and led me through this project while having many other duties. I would also like to thank my parents, especially my mom, for supporting me and motivating me to keep going. Last but not least, I would like to appreciate my sister because she provided me with moral support and the amenities needed for my project. Thank you, Al Huda, for this opportunity and many others. Thank you.